Hey there, SpeedGaming 2. Time for more Super Metroid Randomizer with multi-category tournament 2022 to week number 5. So this will be a major minor item layout, but the main feature will be this full area randomization. On crew is me, Aussie101, doing comms, and we have Lomi and Jones on tracking. And thanks to Maddie Walker for setting us up. And the racers, the runners who will be watching today is King of the Hill versus swunsh. And this is a 1-in-3 match. So runners don't have the ability to advance into playoffs, but still get to play out the rest of their Swiss matches. So we're just here for fun. There's, I think it's still possible to influence runners who can go on with these scores. So this still could decide future races. But here we are. Red ship on the left. I like it. Blue ship on the right with a little bit more angular design. So I think I'm voting for Team Red Ship. It's the moonfall on Spooch's side. It's going to cost a couple seconds. These big long shafts are where you get the most benefit out of moonfall. So don't get it. It's already just a couple seconds gone. And King taking early lead. Major minor item set is what's going to go itself first. So the two majors here are the Morph Pedestal and the Ceiling E-Tank. This door to the right here on King's side is normally pink, but as part of Randomizer, it is changed to a blue door. Just to open up more doors at the start of the seed. We have early power bombs, so good chance we get a check of the left past the 3 big hoppers. And also, the world is awake. If you're going through those couple of doors, and we use that to let the runners get a D-boost here up into the ceiling E-tank item, where otherwise the only way to get that item would be the taco tank, triple frame perfect, 50-50 coin flip trick. But damage boost into the item, much easier. No missiles yet, but those usually turn up early. It's not that common to see a power bomb only start. And still a bunch of minors before they make it to any major. And just like that, a super pack. So they're set for ammo as far as opening doors goes. Deciding not to check the transition. Oh, this is a Billy Mays play. So possibly influenced by the no missiles. Like really wants to make sure to find missiles. And probably happy about seeing super missiles. But short-lived happiness as there's super missiles pretty available. Yeah, up here too at Old Mother Brain. And we'll see if swunsh checks the retro Brinstar transition. On one powerbomb pack, checking Billy Mays and then going to the transition, you run out of powerbombs doing that, but having a second pack lets you do both. But you do want to get this check in, just for the knowledge. And is going to fall through and show us what's over here. I don't have a area tracker up myself, so I'm just going to hope to remember, do my best. And this is Green Brinstar. So that's a really good find. But Speed Booster, also a really good find. Bad Bomb Teresa. Criteria still has a good number of majors to check, with Terminator and Gauntlet, and the other 4 areas. But Green Brinstar and Pink Brinstar together is also a bunch of majors. We know Swunch isn't going to get Speed Booster here because it's at Bomb Teresa, so that's going to isolate Waterway. And this is a grapple beam at the reserve tank location. So runner's going to be pretty divergent for a while now. They have a lot they can do up here. It's not... I guess I don't expect like one of these other criteria entrances to go back to Green Brinstar. So they're probably gonna like both hit another hub. But we'll see exactly how it's laid out. How the map is laid out, a main focus of the seed. So let's talk about full area for a bit. The map is broken into what are called areas, which is like groups of rooms. And there's a various suit at Edikins. It's very good. The transitions between areas are like constant, but where they go is what's randomized. Criteria, which includes Blue Brinstar, has 5 total transitions. Green Brinstar / Pink Brinstar has 3 transitions out of it. And so there's something we're going to keep an eye on. But this various suit is one of the big items that they're looking for. It's generally both suits and a charge beam is your most basic go mode. Not likely to be skipping a various suit, like in general. Although they can get to the back Lorne Orphere entrance, Ridley is still going to be at Ridley's room because there's no boss shuffle today. And let's welcome in SpeedGaming with the raid. So we're early on in the seed. Swunch decided to go left of Morph Pedestal and found the Green Brinstar transition, whereas King of the Hill went up and is clearing out criteria and is just now getting 2 transitions. And we've seen a Upper Norfair and a Red Tower. If he goes through this tube, then he can't logically get back up. Has to break the tube and gravity jump, and you only get 1 try at that. But we're still early on. This looks like a screw attack on Swunch's side at the charge beam spot, I take it. Oh, and into Green / Pink Brinstar. So King is going to be able to check Waterway because it already has Speed Booster, whereas Swunch may never get that check. I want to guess that it's an E-Tank, though, because they've already found good items. Can't all be good items here in Brinstar. And then having the early screw attack, they don't have to watch their health as much. Like screw attack's really nice to get early. Speed is pretty good as a movement item, but it throws off your movement too when there's no high jump. So like you gain value from speed, but you also lose some value, especially in these not straightaway sections. And that's just the reserve at Waterway. So that turns into time saved from swoosh by not checking that, unless they decide to go back later. Swunsh does, like, eventually wants to get speed booster. But doesn't need it right now. And then showing off that gravity jump. But by breaking the tube, they're sort of committed to this check. Criteria still has good items. Also has screw attack, so little incentive to go to Gauntlet. Whereas otherwise that'd be slow. Yep. Has a Various Suit, so that upper Norfair portal is pretty good too. So like, has a lot of options for what they can do. Back a Gauntlet check, not really worth. Their missile and super count's pretty nice for this early on, actually. I wouldn't say you're really looking for like more super packs to go out of your way for. Possibly just something you want to account for in the late game. So this will be Various Suit for King. And then this will also be King running into all the ammo that Swoosh has found. There's Speed Booster, so item-wise they're pretty tied up. Just the grapple beam that was at Brinstar Reserve. But they are like positionally different, so that will affect how they decide to continue on. King probably goes up this elevator after Brinstar Reserve check to find Blue Brinstar. And then we'll see how he decides to go from there. Because going either direction from that portal is pretty slow. This is a Gauntlet check. The wall jumps up to Gauntlet, pretty tricky. Can do a spark to get up there. Since I'm pretty sure they just got Speed Booster at PT. Yeah, there they go. Also sparking a little high. Not aiming their spark directly into the hole. And we'll see what item here at Gauntlet. Yeah, having a screw attack makes clearing these blocks pretty fast. Then having Varia, not worried about taking damage at all. But also saved at the ship. Looks like they want to keep the E-Tank. Which is fine. You can also jump out pretty fast. Like, resetting isn't completely free. Yeah, it looks like King's going back down into Brinstar. So they're going to have to run through the entirety of Brinstar. And this would be to get to the Red Tower entrance, I take it. But they have options because they know that Green Hills goes to Red Tower, and there's plenty of things you could do from there. Swunch is going back down Terminator instead of to the mode area. So they probably like that Upper Norfair portal, and it's gonna clear that out. Going left though. So left is the tube. And checking for entrances, I suppose. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, they're going straight for Waterway. We know there's nothing there, so this is unfortunate time loss. Could have got away with skipping this. But it makes sense to read the sea giving you early speed booster as wanting to follow the speed booster. Meanwhile, we are outside of Spazer on King's side. Swunch could actually reset to the ship from here if they wanted. Put them pretty close to the criteria entrances again. So nothing here at Spazer, but right after Spazer is X-Ray, and they have this grapple beam for an easy X-Ray check. Very Randomizer removes some of the blocks that King just passed through, so you can get up here with no items, just wall jump up the side. Otherwise, passing through this part of Red Tower is extremely inconvenient. Yeah, now for a little bit of swingy with a purple beam, it looks like. Oh no, he's eaten on the spikes. And then Swunch is right behind, so Spazer and X-Ray. And I take it they've done all the same checks now, and Swunch is just going to be a couple rooms behind. I thought it'd take longer for them to meet up. So not much at X-Ray. Red Tower, with just the two major spots. It can be problematic getting back to Spazer if you don't make a point of checking it. Like say you were to continue to the right side, and that would lead to a portal that takes you to the top of Red Tower. But no, we're going through Spazer X-Ray. This center entrance is going to take us somewhere new. Not sure exactly what that farm was for. Okay, we're back in Upper Norfair at the Crade Mouth. This is a nice place to be. If you're looking for majors, Upper Norfair is really good. And that takes you right back to top of Red Tower. I'm fine with leaving the elevator check. It's pretty slow. Yeah, elevator is something like 11 seconds each way. But this will help fill in our knowledge gap. And we get the top of Meridia, showing off underwater wall jumps, just warming up for later. It's kind of the King special. Surely now, one or both of them are going to go through Upper Norfair. So Swunsh didn't even check the entrance. So it doesn't know about that top of Red Tower. But does really want the two majors here. One high jump, one ice beam. And with the entrance skip, I imagine you go back up and take that entrance after these two checks. Whereas King probably do more of a full clear of this region. And we'll get the checks at the same time. So X-ray at high jump and space jump at ice beam. Space jump, really nice to have this early on. X-ray, not going to do much. Yeah, X-ray has some obscure uses, but it's mostly just for the microwave beam combo. Get to see a little iceless ice escape. It doesn't quite get it. That's pretty tight. I like shooting out the left tripper. Otherwise, he carries you backwards a little bit. But, you know, it just costs a second or two. And now they're just going to switch positions. Swunsh getting to the major first. That has to mean they've taken the lead now. But yeah, extremely close race. King does have those information advantage checks from top of Red Tower, which Swunsh hasn't seen yet. That's probably why the race tightened up. Going down to the Croc area. So just going to leave behind that top entrance for now. That's fine. Red Tower is a place that you find yourself passing through a bunch. We have Swunsh at the Croc door and King heading towards the Croc door. That's the bottom of West Meridian. Yep, King up in power bombs, but Swunsh up in missiles. Something to keep track of. We've seen big time losses to running out of power bombs or not having good Ridley ammo. So it's always something you want to take note of. But the runners are periodically farming, keeping their ammo in good condition. Now we get the Chronic Boost door, which is a Crocomire. And decides to take the fight. There's two majors at Croc, one for the E-Tank and one for Grapple Beam. You don't have to take the fight because this is area randomizer. So the door out of Croc is gray and flashing. And that also means that you can just pick up this item to the right side and then leave. So we'll see what it is. Could be jumping to the right side, but decides to sit through the lag. Yeah, just a reserve tank. Didn't want to look at it. So good job minimizing the time it was on screen. And then this is double Croc kills. So it's fine taking the Croc fight here. Just a little bit strange to have not done the Bubble Mountain checks, like with this early Varia suit, but it's just how things played out. Haven't quite gone to Bubble Mountain yet. But both are going to get both majors. Maybe pick up some minors on the way out. And we get a high jump boots at grapple. So high jump can be a required item. Depends how the seed wants to place items. Not going for that minor, Indiana Jones. Swunsh is in a pretty good spot for missiles. Doesn't really need anything else. But would like to see a charge beam eventually. I like to build towards the 30 supers for the eventual Ridley fight. And also, we are still early in the seed, so high jump is going to be a really good movement item, and they're going to have a lot of time with it. So that itself makes back a bunch of the time from taking this croc fight. We've already seen the lower Norfair escape transition. I think it goes back to Criteria. So that will be all the transitions from here. And we're here for items. But that could mean that Swunsh goes back to the over by high jump, the red tower transition, because that's the only entrance here they don't know. King taking the fun way over to Wave Beam. Yeah, this way always seems good, and then you have to go through this tripper spiky path. Yeah, E-Tank at the reserve. Don't really need E-Tanks anymore. The E-Tanks are most valuable before you get the Varia suit, but this was an early Varia suit. So just collect E-Tanks for comfort and safety. That's a gravity suit at Wave Beam. So from here, just need Mother Brain ammo or Charge Beam. And to find the rest of the bosses. We are still at 0 boss kills. King could even skip the rest of these major checks. But really wants Charge Beam still. It's not a speed booster. But these checks are next to minors. Speed has 1 minor, Wave has 1 minor, and the reserve tank has 2 minors on path. So these are good majors to check for. But both have 35 supers now. And not having gone through the boss regions, they could probably go for ammo finish if they want. So, don't really need to track down that charge beam. The seed has had a lot of supers, I'd say. Sometimes you can get seeds where it just doesn't have enough super packs to even go for an ammo finish. Like if everything's power bombs and missiles. The minor distribution is 3, 2, 1. So most likely to see missiles, followed by supers, followed by power bombs. But that's just a probability. Because we're seeing here that they mostly have super missiles. So this will be swunsh checking that red tower entrance, which does go to red tower. King has their pick of where to go. I think we had a West Meridia at Croc. Also going over here towards the cool area of Upper Norfolk. So still right together, extremely close race. Like the only difference is King knows what's through this door on the left and what's up the elevator, but now swunsh also knows through that door. So now they both know the same things on top of everything. So it's just swunsh a little bit ahead. But might have to take a second to decide on where to go from here. Yeah, and there we see it. There we are. Same door transition at the same time. King already knew what he wanted to do, so has a better plan of where to go through here. Swunsh taking that save. We're not sure why yet. Like there's two entrances here they haven't really seen yet, and don't know if they want to follow or not. But they found East Meridia, and this can lead them to a Dragon kill. And there, King visiting a different save room, so just giving back that time. It looks like swunsh has already decided on ammo finish. 40-40 is pretty close. And then there's that power bomb pack because they don't have ice beam yet. So East Meridia is going to give them a major at the Batoon E-Tank here in a second. And then also Dragon with the space jump item. Those will be the two on-path majors. And then we're expecting them to exit out Cack Alley to check the back entrance. But they don't have to. They could also go back to West Meridia. There's a full halfie from King. A nice quick way across the Coliseum. Not checking the Precious Miner. So that could mean that King still wants a charge beam. They have options for the Dragon fight. You got 3 Spark with a bit of ammo. Looks like he's going for it. Switching to the grapple kill. I kind of like the grapple kill the most here. But doesn't get the quick grapple. Sometimes when the goops hit you, you get knocked as if you take damage. And then you just lose your jump. And that's what happened here. It doesn't take too many hits on the ride up. You can lose a random amount of health on that trip. And only being on 2 E-tanks, it could have been trouble. Yeah, going for Spike Suit. Don't really need it, especially because it would drain his energy. Almost like that E-tank for a health refill. But 2 E-tanks and both suits, you screw attack all this movement. You can do anything pretty safely. Yeah, it doesn't really need that power bomb. The only other place to really think about power bombs is Lower Norfair, where you need a couple to get in and a couple to get out. But having 15, you're not really going to go through all of them. Swunsh gets the quick kill, so it saves a little bit of time there. Stayed away from the wall so that the goops were more spread out, and then it ran over once they were gooped to have an easier time getting that quick kill. And I'm expecting them both to go through Cack Alley here to check this transition. Had the items, but didn't look like it went for the Plasma Spark. Just the forgotten old route tech. So, Plasma check, kind of slow. Oh, gets Ice Beam for it. So that's worthwhile. But coming up here to the location does take time, and that's really gonna... Like, it costs most of the benefit of getting Ice Beam, but gives an easier Zeb skip. And on an ammo finish, you want to save that ammo from Zeb skip. So it's a little tied to how good you are at speed Zeb skip. But if they do find Charge Beam, then it's also a stronger beam. And it looks like Swunsh is also going to get that Ice Beam. So, not really an advantage to either runner in that case. And it's just going to keep looking like King is a couple rooms ahead. But with how many majors are left in the pool, how many locations there are, I don't know if I like really looking for a Charge Beam. They've already gotten all the like the good majors other than Charge, so there's not really like other beneficial things that you'd find. We did find Kraid's Lair at the back of East Meridia, so really good that they came here. This is gonna be a dead end zone, where once you find it, you have to kill the boss and then turn around. So that makes this East Meridia into Kraid's Lair trip pretty neat and required. Kraid has 2 majors, so there's a chance of getting maybe Spring Ball here. I think that's what they'd like to see. Yeah, nice 4 super quick kill. Plasma Beam. Worth picking up. It gives benefit, again, if they find Charge Beam, but also helps with doing various rooms, like Metroid rooms. Maybe hitboxing some Lower Norfair enemies. Swunch still looking for ammo. We found another beam. Just the S beam. No Spring Ball here. So I'm not sure if we can really tell if King is looking for a charge still. But Swunch is definitely looking for ammo. But then also went to Plasma. So being kind of thorough and doing both things. And yeah, Kraid's Lair is a dead end, so have to go all the way back through East Meridia. It's probably the faster way back. Well, going left isn't. If you're going left, you wouldn't want to fall. But they can either go back through Cack Alley and then Batoon, E-Tank, and then like exit out the normal way. Or you can go down the tube and to the left for a new teleport door that was added. Then option 3 is the Shack Tool play. So is this going to be an ice clip? No. Just going up through the grapple hole. Okay, now this is a slow check. I almost would have liked it more if you checked the sandpit and then came over here after. Because the sandpit check isn't too slow in this mode. But where you get to see a Shack Tool and we get to watch him dig. No way to speed this up. And I'm not expecting Swunch to check Shack Tool. So this could be a lead change. Another beam. It's like he knows where all the beams are. That's 4 in a row. So wherever King checks next is going to be charge beam. It's just how it seems to be playing out. Wave beam's a good beam. The best beam even. It lets you shoot through walls. And now we see Swunch is just 2 rooms ahead. So we're back to close race. Oh, going up the tube. Going left is definitely faster from there. Okay, so we're gonna get a sandpit check from Swunch. It's not really that out of the way, but it's still a bunch of room transitions, and those cost time. We'll be farming these cacks for supers for the inevitable Ridley fight. But I think, like, for Lorne Orfair, you only need around... You need a low 20 super count. And then you fill up on supers along the way. So not too much of a problem. Alright, so that's top of West Meridia. Is their exit. They're same room at the same time, once again. Really keeping pace with each other. King now with the wave beam advantage. Both checking Mama Turtle. It's another major with a minor next to it. So this has to mean the king is committed to Church Beam. Now that he's done slow major checks and is skipping minors, they're in the same room. There's Artorian. Okay, so Main Street is Torian. We're still looking for both Lower North Airs and both wreck ships. And I know we haven't seen the moat or the criteria crabs. Okay, so that's back to top of Red Tower. And I'm not really sure where things are that they'd want to be checking, so I'm just gonna see where they go. Oh, but now King is checking minors. Yeah, so not sure what either one of them are doing or planning for like final ammo wise. I feel like swunsh is aiming for an ammo finish, but also being thorough on majors. When like there comes a point where you want to pick one direction. King. I think King didn't check Sandpit, so I'm not entirely sure what they're doing either. But swunch is much closer on ammo. 55-55 is one of the minimums. But King has a little bit more ammo to get. They both have Ice Beam, so don't have to worry about Zeb skip ammo. And they're going different directions. So which of these paths will lead to a Lower North Fair or wreck ship? The tube. Yeah, the tube is criteria, and this Lower North Fair escape is also criteria. Like right across the hall. So swunsh is a little ahead in like positionally. And we're gonna see those moat locations. I've already been to Retro Brinstar, goes to the top of Green Brinstar. So it's all to do here is to cross the surface. And could it be that this makes a loop? So wreck ship, where the other side of wreck ship would lead into Lower North Fair, and then come out at the moat? And there's a super pack on the way. So that's something you want to see. So it might be that you want to go through the front way, no matter which path you find. And just go through the entire loop. But they decide to go different entrances, and see how this goes. Gonna get a wreck ship on King's side and a Lore Norfair on Swunsh's side. And as soon as they go to the other transition in the area, they'll swap positions. Now we get to think about the advantages of doing these regions in like opposite directions. Like how King gets to check Mickey Mouse, and Swunsh has the option of Rick Shippy. Like on the way into the back of Lore Norfair, you can go for PBs in jail. Kind of interesting how this worked out. No charge beam, so gonna be a normal missile kill on Phantoon. Test of your Doppler skills. And then for Lore Norfair, this is the part where you gotta watch your powerbomb count. Takes 5 powerbombs to come in from below, or to enter this area from this direction. And then it takes up to 6 to leave, but with the items Swunsh has, it's not many, 2 or 3. So they have enough power bombs to get out fine. Yeah, that missile pack would have been enough to bring them to the minimum required ammo. So it seems odd to leave it behind. Yeah, that's a nice clean Phantoon kill. It brings King up to 3 bosses down. Maybe Swunsh is just being greedy and expects one of the miners they're gonna pass to be super pack. But then that'd be playing a little tight tier ammo. 30 supers to kill Ridley. Not sure what they entered with, but I'm sure they're keeping track. King's still checking majors. Oh, and there's Charge Beam. So they're done with the ammo hunt. That's a big find. There's a big advantage to doing wreck ship first. Just first major you can check is your Charge Beam. You can skip the rest. And that should give King a lead from this position. Like, assuming they were even when they entered their respective areas. King should be ahead now. Having found that Charge Beam. Swunsh is still going to be checking minors and possibly majors as they go through here. And Lore Norfair, a long zone. So hard to judge who's actually ahead. We won't really know until they both exit out and are back in criteria. They're both covering the same ground, pretty much. But it looks like with that charge beam fine, King is gonna have a bit of a lead. There's swunsh. A little indecisive. Wants this major check. So this could mean that they do run into charge beam, even though they're at the just short of the required ammo. If they're still checking majors, might run into charge anyway. But charge is in a spot that benefits King more. This is a super pack, so maybe it won't get charge. Because you're already there on ammo. And charge is the only item that you want. Can't tell if King has ice on or not. Because shooting a purple beam. But if ice is on, then it's 20 shots. It's the trailing ice effect. King, experienced speedrunner. Just gonna play out the rest of the seed with all the movement items. Maybe they would like to see spring ball, or even bombs. Being known for bomb shenanigans. But already passed by. Bombs at Fireflies. Yeah, it's Swunch's turn for Phantoon fight. Test of your ability to Doppler missiles. It's an opening fast. It's lucky. And a right side pattern where it's super rare to get a fast, but medium is the most common. They're getting a couple of Dopplers. You don't need that many for a 3-round. You just need like 5 missiles in the in-between rounds, and then finish it with a super. It looks like going to a 4th cycle. You get that invisible phrase, but that was just a fast. And there's the fight. Oh, King is going back through Lorne Warfare. So this is slower since it's a loop. But this will put them both pretty close together. Swunch already knows that the crab maze goes back to criteria. It looks like King still half a room ahead. And Swunch passing up charge beam. That's to be expected. Yeah, problem for Swunch is the charge beam is going to save King more time in Torian. So it's a problem that King's already ahead. But now comes kind of the final test of Area Randomizer, where you have to make a path back to Torian, which I believe was at Main Street in West Meridia. So beam advantage has some less visible benefits. Like having wave is gonna help clear out the Metroids. Full beam is kind of something you're more practiced with. Even coming down rooms like Terminator here and Green Pirates, you go a little faster. But also when you're on ammo finish, you have to be watching your ammo count, your super count specifically, going through Metroids. And that could cause you to like turn around and pick up extra supers. Maybe even missile the door past baby skip and take the missile recharge. The Mother Brain fight itself is going to be the same, with a super kill versus a full beam kill. But then full beam, they don't have the E-tanks for stand-up. Swunsh does, but doesn't have the charge. But King does not have the E-tanks for stand-up, so it doesn't get that benefit of charge. Revisiting Dead Croc. Yeah, this part, you gotta remember where to go. I know that this Meridia portal goes to Upper Norfair. Okay. So the Croc door going to the map station. It's gonna be right next to Torian. So King found their path. Green gate is taken away because this is area randomizer. And then top the elevator also goes to the top of West Meridia. So still just a couple rooms apart. And then one last thing. As you enter Torian, this elevator gives a full health and ammo refill. So that's going to help out Swunsh, since they're only on 8 supers and are going to need all of their supers to finish the seed. So expecting some good, clean, fast Metroid rooms from King. Yeah, freely using supers. If you don't care about your super count, then you can go for all these faster strats too. 1 super per Metroid instead of grouping them up. Yeah, and it looks like we're seeing a room speed difference in how they're taking these Metroid rooms, where King got it through the rooms faster. Swunsh using missiles on these Metroids, which is slower than supers, and stopping for all the drops. Wave Beam gonna help with Baby Skip. Had the option to get Morph Bombs. Swunsh did. Decided to skip. So you can do Baby Skip without Wave Beam. It just speeds it up and helps. So we'll see if Swunsh goes for it or not. Easy Zeb skip. Missiling out the Rinkas. You want to use Charge Beam for that, because freezing Rinkas and then killing them keeps them on their frozen timer, so they don't reappear right away. And this will be 20-shot finish. And swunsh did not get baby skip, so gonna have to refill. It might take this time to shoot open the red door to save on missiles. Or not. Or will. 50-60 isn't that much leeway. It's pretty close. 55-55 is minimum. I don't remember if you have to pre-open doors or not with that. Yeah, stand-up glitch without charge. It does save a little bit of time, and you can manipulate this cutscene with another brain. And you can also make the baby Metroid go off screen faster. And so you could save a couple seconds that way. But then the risk of soft lock is there, so most people don't go for it. And swunsh knows how to go for the Rinka freeze without wave beam. Just shoot it from below. Then gets a nice down back skip. So it doesn't have to turn off screw attack. That's a hard one. Jumps into the glass with Mother Brain. I like to see it. But I'd also like to see supers used to finish Mother Brain 1. It just speeds it up so you don't get knocked around by Rinkas. But then having 60 supers means you don't have to account for the second phase. And actually he has exact ammo now, so swunsh can't miss any supers. And that was easy to count because we're coming into the second phase on exactly 60 supers. And there's a miss. I'm not sure anyone feels confident in doing a 60 super fight and never missing. So, unfortunate end to the race for swunsh. But at least we know that it didn't cost them the race. King already had and was like at the end of the Mother Brain fight. This Meridia save is from their first visit to West Meridia, I think. So right after Upper Norfair. That's a lot of lost progress. Gonna take a forfeit, not finish out the seed. But we'll know in just a second that King wasn't too far away from finishing. Taking the time to visit the animals. Have to imagine it's because they saw the forfeit in the race room. Was preparing to pre-type the .don and saw they had a bit of extra safety in the race. So we get an animal save. Yeah, there's King done. Takes first place in the race. Time of 108.51. That brings them up to a score of 2 and 3. GG's. And we'll see. They want to talk about the race seed, the tournament. Joined by King of the Hill. How you doing?
I am doing well. Okay, so I like that. I really didn't like how stingy the seed was to give charge beam. I was just losing so much time just trying to find it. I really didn't want to go into Turian with freaking 40 or 45 supers or however little I had. I didn't think it was worth the time. The only item I decided I was going to skip was the wreck ship tank, E-tank. Otherwise, I would have been willing to check everything.
So that's something we were kind of looking at the end there, where Wreck Ship and Lower Norfair were a loop, and so you could have done the other order, done Lower Norfair first, and come out at Wreck Ship E Tank on your
Oh,
way
could
back to Criteria.
could I? Oh, dude, I'm so bad at keeping track of areas.
And it's
Dude,
just
like
a
I
funny
didn't
little
do,
thing.
yeah, I didn't really start into area randos until like a little bit before this 30. Like I did one with Junie or something, and that was like my first time actually completing an area rando. And then there was the tournament. So I'm still not great at being able to keep track of all the locations and like the fastest way to get around places and stuff. There are multiple times I noticed throughout the run like, oh shoot, it would have saved me like a minute if I'd gone this way instead of the way I went.
Yeah, it's the nature of area, and part of what they're testing here with multi-category tournament.
Yeah, I've done a few runs of the week 5 seed. This was a pretty good seed to be honest, and this is a good time. So I was happy with this. I'm just inexperienced in general with area rando.
Yeah. Seed seemed fine. Like early Varia suit led to Gravity suit. It's just the beams were kind of out of the way, but a good number of supers in it.
Yeah.
A really good movement item, actually.
Wait, what?
Movement items, you had those early.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I just want to charge beam. Like I found all the other beams, and like I was so pissed I couldn't find the one charge beam, the one thing I needed. And I needed that like almost the whole time. Like
Yeah,
I didn't even
that's
need gravity. Once I found grapple, I was like, okay, if I find charge, I'm done.
yeah, that's what a lot of these tournament seeds are coming down to, though. Like finding charge beam or having to finish with ammo.
Yeah,
It's
for
kind of one of
sure.
the key items.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, it was pretty nice. With yeah, just like you said, with movement items, with suits. Um, but yeah. So other than charge, it was a really good seed.
As for the race, we saw that both of you were. There's divergence at the very start. Swunsh went through the retro Brinstar transition to Green Brinstar.
Oh, beam
But
route. Yeah.
then, yeah. But then you like caught up to each other pretty shortly after that, and it was you're doing the same things most of the way after that, and also kept it really close. So it
Yeah.
was a great race to watch.
Yeah. And it was a fun one. And I did look, and he and I were pretty close right at the end. We weren't like super super close, but we were pretty close. It's just that I had charge beam, he didn't, and so that is that does what am I saying? It makes it harder, I guess, to play faster when you have to be careful, especially with the allocation he had, which wasn't super lenient, and it came down to him having to do a perfect mother brain fight. So that's an F in the chat. That's really hard to do. That's hard to have happen to you in a race.
Yeah, you hate to see it, and
Yeah.
It's never comfortable going to a fight where you can't miss any shots.
Nope.
So this win, you're at 2-3. Have you been
Uh,
enjoying the
yeah.
tournament?
Yeah, I've been enjoying the tournament. It's been a good way for me to learn about randos. I feel like I've gotten quite a bit better, even just because I didn't really run Randomizer very much. I've been doing, I guess recently I've just been doing my low percent categories and stuff like that. I haven't really been, I hadn't done area like rando really at all, let alone area rando. And so I just saw a bunch of people join the tournament and I was like, cool, this looks fun. And since then I've been learning a lot. So this tournament's been like one of my best learning experiences for rando.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And it's always cool to see how you can bring the low percent tech into your randomizer races.
Yeah, maybe next
'Cause,
week. Maybe next week I can get a seat where I can do that more.
yeah, saw you like jumping off the door when you first found Meridia. Just
Yeah,
because.
I was just kind of messing around there.
But with that, let's see if you have anything more to talk about.
No, I don't. Thank you so much for commentating this race. Um, really good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for sure. Um, and also thanks to Lomi and Jones for covering the tracking for us today, and the rest of Speed Gaming for helping putting this together. With this, let's talk about the other races going on today. Thursday, super busy day for Super Metroid. We have Glove and MST on Main Speed Gaming, 610. Whenever that was, probably still going on. We have Sloter's Tillamorph on 3 at 710. A Saffron Kev, also at 710. And then later on tonight, Maniacal Sasha Boss, Desir Gameaholic. Just a pile of races today. Equally busy tomorrow and then into Saturday. So keep your eyes open. Lots of Super Metroid content to enjoy. And with that, see ya.